Hello everybody, how are you today? Hoping well, whether it be your morning, afternoon, evening, or indeed tomorrow. Or of course on the playback, could be any time at all. Perhaps you're not sleeping, go to bed. So welcome, my name's Dawn if you don't know me. I live in the country of Cyprus, and welcome, welcome. I always start Wednesday lives with my mood boards to say what sort of mood I'm in. Let's see. I talked about these cards in my last live on Monday. I do Monday and Wednesday lives if you're new to the channel. Same time. If you go back, look at the picture of the live, the thumbnail, and go back to the first few, and you'll see in the description below that what time it is in some countries, what time it begins. Let's see. I think we will go for this one. Let's go for this one. Oh, I've got two. I'm not two. I can only pick one. Let's go for happy today. Happy? Are you happy, Dawn, when you've busted your toe and you can't put your shoes on or go anywhere or do anything? Well, this is the thing. I'm okay walking around now, just about. I normally wear Crocs for gardening. They seem to be the best thing for me, but obviously in winter and rainy times I wear Wellington boots. And I thought today, right, I'm going to put Mike's boots on because we've had really unexpected weather here. Normally we don't get rain here in this region until after I've picked the olives, and we can pick our olives mid-November to late November is usually the time we pick them. You can pick them a bit earlier or later, but that's when we choose to do it. And then we normally pick them near the end of November, and then we just about get them all picked and the rains come. So that's how I know we've never had rain in this region this time of year. And one year we actually picked them a bit earlier, more beginning to mid-November, and I actually got sunburnt, so that gives you a bit of idea. And one time we picked them just into December. It was the very end of November into December, and I remember it did rain then, and we had to sort of go in for an hour and then watch the rain finish and then come out. So that's when we normally get rain. But we've had very unexpected weather. We've had, I told you the other day, there was thunder and lightning and a big crash overhead. And we've had quite heavy rain. Here we get it fast and heavy, and then it's normally gone. And strangely enough, mostly we get rain overnight, not very often during the day, which is bizarre. And we get that. And but we can get short and sharp, but really heavy rain. And hi there, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming along. And we get short and sharp, and obviously the towns and that aren't set up for fast rain. It normally goes into the sea and whatever else. And so you hear of a lot of flooding goes on, particularly as often in the city, our capital city, which is the other end of the island. They build in dry riverbeds and make driveways going down to like their garages in the city are like basement garages. And even if they put the water grills in, if you get fast furious rain, they get flooded out. So every year you hear they get flooded out. But as I say, I think it was last year I put on YouTube, we were severely flooded here, first time ever. But as I say, we've had the rain really early. It was a glorious morning today. It was really lovely. But then a little while ago, we just had hailstones. It's finished now. Sun's back out. So I'm going to pick the olives tomorrow. So I put on Mike's Wellington boots. They irritate after a while, but it's not like I'm going to be walking around. I'm just going to get to the trees and mostly be standing picking. So I'm going to pick them because with the rain, they get blown off the trees. They're great big like bullet ones, and they're on the floor, a lot of them now. So I've got to get them picked up and that's going to be the earliest I've ever picked the olives, but I need to save them. As you know, last year I really cut back all my trees severely, and I've got 2 videos on that if you want to look back to those. And I really severely, not just prune them back, I literally cut all the middle trunks right out. We'd pruned them now and then, but this was the most major I'd done. I wanted to future-proof them, which meant I don't want them so high I have to get on big ladders to pick them. We don't do that shaky thing with the trees. Ours are all hand picked, and I mean individually picked, and we get a lot more quality for that. I've gone into all this in the olive picking videos, and a lot of people said, oh, you've really cut them back. You cut all the middle trunks out. I've gone through this on the video, but basically you cut all the middle trunks out, cut any droopy out, make a nice shape and get them nice and low. And everyone said, oh, you won't get olives the next year, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, it's better to preserve them. I didn't think I'd get them all done. We've got over 86 olive trees, and most of them were huge trees. And I cut them all back, and we've got the best olives we've ever had already this year. Hey there, hop along. I'm just saying, I'm walking around. I went out to the garden yesterday, albeit in Mike's Wellington boots. So I had a bit of space. I could still feel it's almost like, now, you know, when you've got an overgrown, not overgrown, like a long toenail, and you can feel it. But it's like that, but like pressing on the top of it. Not that the nail's bruised, but that seems to be affecting it. But a lot better now. So I'm picking those olives tomorrow. And I don't know how many days it'll take. Everyone says, how many olives do you get? What weight and all that? You can't say. You really can't. There's good years. There's bad years. As I say, if you get wind and rain, it will spoil them or drop them on the ground. You never get the same amount every year. Mike's actually done a list, which if I can get that off of him, maybe I will go through it with you once this pick's done and do a comparison with the trees chopped right back. But as I say, with these much smaller trees, they're really big bullets. You get different sorts of olives, and we've got different sorts. You've got really small ones and big bullet ones, but the medium ones have grown really good this year. That's another reason to pick them early, because they're quite juicy. And it doesn't mean the bigger the olive, the more juice. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes the tiny ones, the varieties, they actually contain a lot of juice because they don't have much of a stone or a nut, whatever you want to call it, inside. They don't have much of that, so they have more juice per. Some types of the big bullet ones have a really big stone inside. Ashley gets the same amount of weeds every year. I don't know why you don't get yourself a sheep, Ashley. Get yourself a sheep. Get yourself a sheep. So yeah, that's going to be me tomorrow. I probably won't film it. One, because it's wet outside, and I've got the tripod. You know, I used to call it Bambi because the legs all just went everywhere. It's something had gone wrong with it. And so Mike did surgery on it with another tripod he had. But for some reason, the screw bit where you fix your camera or whatever you put on top of it, it was a little bit kind of rusty-ish. He cleaned it all up, but for some reason that didn't like to attach to what I used to film on. It just didn't connect properly. And I said, I don't want to force it because that mess up my joiny bit. So he did surgery. He took the screw bit off of Bambi, and he put that on his one where the legs are okay, but there was another bit not right with it. So basically there's not a lot of Bambi left now. So Bambi had major surgery and now it's dandy. Call me Bambi, my legs go everywhere. That's my nickname. My nickname is Deck. You've probably never heard this before. You won't have heard it. Mike only knew me as Deck when he first knew me. And it wasn't for years before his children even knew that wasn't my name. Why deck? Deck is short for deck chair. Yes, deck for deck chair, because it's easy to fall down. It falls apart, falls down, and very complicated to put right again. So I was deck for a long time. Yeah. So I'm going to be picking the olives for her. As I say, I won't film it because it's wet out. And you've seen me pick olives so many times. Maybe I'll just do a pan round with it and just show you the height of them all, although that I think pretty much is in the last video, maybe a bit of the whole. But I feel like I've done more than 2 olive picking videos of different degrees and 1 cutting, pruning the trees. I kind of feel you've seen it before, and I don't like to do. There was a channel me and Mike used to watch, and they basically have a year of video, and then each year is exactly the same because they're just only got a couple of things they do every year, and in between that is the same old shots, let's say. And I don't want to be like that. I know people are interested, so maybe I'll do a compilation. I've put one up, or putting up, it's ready to go, the next one, of pruning my citrus trees and fruit trees, and picking the carobs. Maybe I'll do a compilation, sort of put a bit of the picking the olives if I do film any of it with other things. But as you all know, filming stuff slows you down. And I don't know how long it's going to take me this time because they're much smaller trees, but they're absolutely jam-packed full. And I don't want to slow myself down. It's only me doing it. We've had issues with workaways saying they're coming and they're not coming. So it is just me picking all the trees. Normally that is mostly me anyway. I had help last year with the pruning, I think 5 trees the helpers did, and then they had to go. So it is me. I want to get on with it. I would like to be done by this time next week, if not before. So it's a case of I get up, do it. I'm still going to post. Probably won't be very active on YouTube, but I'm still posting and everything, and I will answer comments still, but I need to get it done. As I say, we're getting this rain early. I'm only assuming. I know Europe's been absolutely plagued by bad weather. Obviously, some parts of America have had the hurricanes and whatever. We're kind of in this hub that all this weather circulates, and obviously some of it's blown in, so it's brought olive picking so early this year for us. Hey, Jamie's Country Living, how lovely to see you. Thank you for coming. I'm really enjoying your channel. You probably noticed I keep going on there where I've got 5 minutes. Oh, you're not late at all. You're not late at all. What time is it there? If you don't know, in Cyprus now, it's 5:43 p.m. to give you a bit of idea how my time difference is to yours. Ashley. Oh, very funny, Ashley. So it evidently dawned on him. Oh, so funny. So funny. Oh, very good. Yeah, do check out each other's channel. I do forget to say it sometimes. This is your community space. So if you'd like to now put something about your channel, maybe it's about a video you've just posted, or it might just be in general what you cover on your channel, particularly if your channel name doesn't really say what your channel is about. Can you type something now so that others, not just who's in the chat now, but people watch this back later, see about your channel? This is your space. You're my community. And for your time coming on my chat, I like you to promote your own channel. So type something in. You're very welcome. I know a lot of channels don't like you promoting your own channel on someone else's, but I love you to do that because that's what I'm here for, to help other channels. Where are we? How are you? Thank you very much. It's 10:45 a.m. on Wednesday. Good morning. Time for coffee. Just for putting faces here. Hi here, but not feeling great today. Oh, again, Janine. Oh, much love. Thank you for being here. Yeah, that's Janine. If you pop over to Janine, she's only got a couple of videos up, but we're all trying to help her, encourage her to put more videos up. We got her to do 2. She had 1, and then we got her to do 2. She's not well at the moment, so we'll leave her alone today. But I'm sure if she got lots of subscribers, I don't normally say, oh, subscribe and people put videos up, but I'd like Janine to feel that lovely community spirit already. Ah, coffee. Oh, can you give me one down there, please, now, Jamie? So Jamie's channel is mostly cooking, lots of cooking going on there. Jasper Pudding Face, that's the name of the cat she once had, in case you're wondering, and she's got 2 cat videos, so go and have a watch of those. Really sweet videos. Ashley's Allotment Adventures, I keep nearly saying your old channel name, Ashley. Ashley's Allotment Adventures, mostly growing. There's lots of videos of Piggles, who is his dog. Pardon me, you'll really love his dog, such a sweetie. And he does do a few other videos as well. I enjoyed seeing, I like to see people's backstory, so there's some things about that and other bits and pieces as well. He's done a few great videos very recently, which involves my channel. Ashley says, afternoon tea for me. Cucumber sandwiches, anyone? Afternoon tea. Afternoon tea. Do you have your crust cut off? Because that's what you're supposed to do. And scones. It's got to be scones. That's the only time I will drink tea, is if you go and have a proper cream tea with scones. Proper cream tea. Yes. Clotted cream. We can buy that here now. So I think I will go back some point to making my scones, and Mikey can go and get some clotted cream for a treat. That would be nice. Jamie's Country Living, her channel does cooking, canning, also poultry. We have chickens and turkeys, so go and check out Jamie's Country Living, even if it's just to say hi. And don't forget to say I met you on Dawn's channel, or New Beginnings channel, or Cyprus. I get called quite a lot of things. I love it all. I love it all. So whatever you want to call me. Oh, Shirley's here. Hi, Shirley. I loved your live today. Yes, as I was saying on your live, Shirley, I've actually been going on lots of people's lives lately, and I can't always. Sometimes I can. It's not an issue with the computer or whatever. I think it's the internet. Maybe it's a bit weak with the weather at the moment, but I'm on the lives and I get so frustrated I can't type and say I'm here. So I am listening to a lot of the lives, and I was on yours from the beginning and I just couldn't type, so I don't know how far. I was probably in, I don't know how long you was on for, but about the last 20 minutes maybe I was on, something like that. So I am there. So frustrating. Yeah, so check out Painting with Squirrels. Shirley and Janine, we're actually putting in about our channels here. So if there's new people watching this back later, then put what your channel is about, and hopefully you'll get some new folk. Oh yes, the crust is for peasants. It's for the ducks. It's for the ducks, Ashley. That's what it's for. When I was little, you know, all children go through a phase of don't want to eat the crust. And my house, no, you had to eat what you were given, and that was that. And if you didn't eat it, came back for the next meal and the next meal and the next meal. And I went through that little phase. I wouldn't eat crust, and oh no, you eat your crust. And you say, but the poor ducks. If I eat my crust, there'll be no bread for the ducks. Jamie gets involved with collaborations as well. I've got a sort of collaboration. It's ongoing. There's no time span of it. If you look at my channel, I think it's got its own playlist, and it's called Project Morph, and it explains all about it in the first video. They're obviously in the order, and it's basically getting other people's channels out there. And there's some previous tasks. You can go back and make videos following those. One, for example, was your 10 top tips on, and then you finish the sentence. So it can be absolutely anything, whatever your channel's about or something you want to do, your 10 top tips on, and then you make a video on it. You have to put, if you go through the Project Morph intro video, it explain it, but you basically just have to put a link to my channel and say it's Project Morph, and then you send me the URL or something that you've done the video, and then you get added to the list of people. And as I say, anytime there could be one, it could be past ones, present ones. There's no deadline of any video, and lots of people go back and watch the Project Morph ones. And at any time, first one, you have to do an intro. You have to do an intro, like letting everyone know that you're in Project Morph and what your channel's about. You have to do that first, and then from that you can also decide on a video that everyone in Project Morph can make on their channels as well. But as I say, go and look in my playlist Project Morph, and it will explain it further, because I don't like time limits on collabs and things like that either. So that's what I do. Painting with Squirrel says, how are you today, my dear? I've said at the beginning, yeah, getting about now. I'm wearing Mike's boots in the garden, and just picking the olives would be all right. I don't walk backwards and forwards because it's not that it's rubbing, but it's like that. It's really aggravating. So, yeah, that's fine. Painting with Squirrel says, Shirley, if any of you don't know. Cheers, everyone. I'm advocate for mental health and bringing awareness to living as well. Shirley does. Would I be right in saying all lives, Shirley? I don't know if you've got anything that's not alive, but basically if you like community and getting into lives, Shirley's your person. Painter with Scoria says, also do a wicked open panel karaoke on Saturdays. See, I forget about that because not very often on internet on the weekends. I try not to be. You will see me pop up, but mostly not. Hey, Old Car Junkie, go and check out Old Car Junkie. He's somebody who's also done backstories on his life, which are very interesting and really inspiring. Really inspiring. You wouldn't know what he's come from. Let's say something very different happened to him, so go and check those out. He's very much into practicing drawing. Old Car Junkie and Painting with Squirrels, you need to switch channels, look at each other's, because Shirley's into her painting and just progressing, doing paintings, and Old Car Junkie's the same but with drawings. So you two are really be interested in each other's channels. So Old Car Junkie, you can put a bit about what your channel's about. Ashley's Allotment Adventures, hit the likey thummy thing, guys. That's great. Some of you, if you've been with me a while or you're quite active, do let me know if I'm only subscribed to you under one of my channels. Once I've been with you some time or you're quite active, I do subscribe to you with 2 or 3 or more channels. And that way, you don't always see me comment under all of them, but that way it means I can give you a like for each video, for each subscription I've done with you. So I think most of you, Jamie, I'm not sure if I've come on yet and given you a second subscription. I might have done that today. There was somebody I did go on today. Can't remember if it was you, Jamie, or not. I'll have to go and look at some point, because you're very active with me since I've known you. Howdy ho, Dawn. And I don't know if Old Car Junkie and Ashley have intermingled with their channels, because you two guys are very similar. You could be brothers. You could well be brothers. You both got the same character, in my opinion, what I see of you both. So yeah, two of my favourite guys for sure. Painting with Squirrels, smash that like, share it out. Thank you very much. Waiting on your community page. I've heard something interesting about community page, Jamie. Apparently now they're just throwing it out there. Somebody I know has only got 29 subscribers. They've been given it. And it's just gone crazy, YouTube. It really has. So they did bring it down from what it used to be years ago to 100. You only need 100 subscribers, but now it looks like they're just throwing it out there, basically. My character's walked. You're saying I'm saying Old Car Junkie's walked. Oh. You got humour. Oh, talking of, Ashley, on my live on Monday, we were talking about on the buses. They say it's a trial, yeah. Yeah, if you go back to see what happened to me on Monday, oh my goodness. Anyway, on Monday, we were talking about on the buses. Now, anyone who doesn't know English television, do excuse, but it was a comedy program. It was a series, like a comedy series on, it was on black and white TV when it was black and white. So it was in the 70s. And it was really funny, a little bit, not risque, but, you know, British comedy in the 70s. And they made 3 films of it much later on in colour. And I was promoting on Monday the films, saying I love the films. If you look up on YouTube, on the buses, films, there's 3, and they're hilarious. They're really good. You just want laughs and funny. Perfect. So I remembered, hey there, Good Times Homestead, Jen and Steve. Hi there. Nice to see you. So I remembered I had a game of On the Buses. I found it. On the Buses game. So you can just see from the picture, guys, that it's a comedy. And the driver of the bus is called Stan. And he was the main character. And he lived with his mum and his sister and his brother-in-law. And then at the back of the bus here is Jack. And he would always try and get the girls. And he was a bit of a cocky thing, really. And he'd actually always get Stan into trouble. And the man at the front is Blakey, who's the bus inspector. And it always went wrong for Blakey. And they used to always try and like do the wrong thing and get away with it. But Blakey was always on their case. And as you can see, the tagline was, "Oh, get you, Butler," because it was Stan Butler. So it was really funny. So are you wanting to look at the game? Are you wanting to look at the game? Oh, by the way, Good Times Homestead, if you want to write a little bit about your channel here, we're doing today writing about our channels, either about a video you've just got out that people in the chat or watching later might want to watch, or if you want to just put briefly what you do on your channel, do feel free to put that in because this is your chat. Just thought it was something I promised that I'd put on my community post. If I don't write things down, they don't happen. Because I did put on my community post, I said about my ornaments, my garden ornaments, my 2 pigs, the squirrel and the dragon coming out of the drain. And I was talking about it. I said, I should put the pictures of those on my community post. So if you want to see those, if you was in the last chat or you just want to, sounds interesting, do go on my community post. I try and post every week if I've got something to share. But it seems more at the moment that I talk about something on my chat and I'm like, oh, I'll put that on my community chat. So do look on the post, community post. That's a collector's item now. When I was little, every Christmas or birthday, I used to want a game. And I had tons and tons. I never threw them away. And then when we moved to Cyprus, I really went through them. I had to keep on the buses game. And I must have had hundreds of games, literally. I sold most of them off. And yes, a lot of them did go to collectors. Good Times Homestead said, thanks. I think most here know me. We live in the country and have chickens. We cook and I love being in collabs. And I was talking about my ongoing collaboration that's got its own playlist called Project Morph. So do go and look at that. Old Car Junkie says, that's Teddy. If any of you don't know, it's Teddy. Old Car Junkie, what I like to do is working on old cars. I draw. Oh, right. Yes. Pistorius type drawing as cartoon people. I'm just learning portraits. I also share life happenings and recovery from illness as a child. Okay, cool. So let's show you in this game. You can probably see a little bit on the lid, the picture here. It's a map of where they live. And there's little buses. All the buses. Unfortunately, Mike doesn't like to play games. I love games. I really love games. So here's the board. And if you know the programs or the films, you will recognise places in it, such as the Gasworks. So there's the board, and you can see the bus routes of the three different colours. Oh yes, something about the red bus. Did it say anywhere on it? Bank, garage, fish and chip shop, horses church, the school, flats, so on and so forth. And then you have 4 buses. You have the brown bus, and look, you can get in the bus. You've got a blue bus. Oops, I've just thrown a bit on the floor. Where's that gone? Oh, I'll have to find that later. Blue bus. Green bus. And if I remember, hey Neil, if I remember, the red bus was special. And then you had bus stops. Cool. And you have all sorts of people, and they match the colours of the buses. There's a little girl. There's a mommy shopping. What else is there? Characters. So you've got all the characters of all the colours. So that's a schoolboy. So he's in all the colours. I'll show you the girl. There's the girl. Is there a fourth character? Oh, I think that's all there is. Boy, girl, mum. Yeah, I think there's only 3 of each. And then obviously you can put them in the buses when they catch the bus. You put them in the buses. That's such a great laugh on the buses. That was a theme song. So there. And then we have cards. I can't remember how to play it exactly. So you have cards like brown bus, 3 stops. And then there was something special about the red bus, Stan's bus, 2 stops. That's obviously how far you can move them. Blue bus, 4 stops. So you obviously pick the cards and so on and so forth. Oh, look at this card. Breakdown. Any other weird cards? Oh, they got all the colour buses. Breakdown, right? Breakdown. Oh, Blakeheed. That doesn't sound good. Blakeheed. So let's have a quick read, just briefly. I'm not reading the whole thing. How to set it up. Right, each player has to try to get all his passengers back to the bus station, one or two at a time, or all three together. Passenger travel on the buses, which are moved around the board by players using bus tickets. The blue bus must follow the blue route in the direction of the arrows. The brown bus must follow the brown route, blah, blah, blah. The red bus is Stan's bus and does not have to stay on any particular route. Stan's bus can travel along any road from stop to stop, including roads not marked with routes. And it can travel in any direction, backwards, forwards, even in the same turn. Each coloured circle on each of the routes is a bus stop, as are the coloured circles at the bus station marked S for start and F for finish. When the blue, brown or green buses reach their finish bus stops, the next stop they visit is their start bus stop and they go round again. Stan's bus can start from or return to any start or finish position. Players take turns in a clockwise direction. Each player picks up a fifth ticket from the top of the pack and plays any one of the 5 tickets, placing it face upwards by the side of the pack. Players cannot pick up used tickets. When all the tickets have been used, are facing upwards, they must be shuffled and placed face down, with the exception of Blakeheed and Breakdown, blah, blah. Blakeheed tickets. Blakeheed tickets affect only the movements of Stan's bus, the red bus. When you play a Blakeheed ticket, you may take any one of another player's passengers off Stan's bus at whatever stop it has reached. Once you've played your Blakeheed ticket, you take another turn straight away, picking up another ticket and playing any one of your 5 tickets. If you can, you should play a Stan's bus ticket so you can move Stan's bus further on, leaving the passenger you have taken off stranded. Breakdown tickets do not affect Stan's bus. When you play a breakdown ticket, you must take all the passengers off either the blue, the brown or the green bus. You then take another turn, taking another ticket and playing any one of your 5 tickets. If you can, you should play a ticket of the same colour as the bus that broke down, so you can leave all the passengers stranded when you move the bus further along the route. If you have a passenger or passengers on a bus that you've broken down, it must be taken off too. If, however, when you take your second turn, you can play a ticket of the same colour of the bus, you may put your passenger or passengers back on again. Yeah, sounds quite cool, actually. Sounds cool. Let's see. Just looked on eBay. The exact game's £40. I wouldn't part with it for £40. My sister has it as well. My nan and granddad always bought us the same things, so we didn't break each other's or argue about them or whatever. Thanks for looking that up though, Ashley. I have to show you what else I've got now. I have to bring a different game out every time. I'm just a crazy, friendly, blind Canadian, jack of all trades, master of none, keeper of the secrets of the universe. Yes, do check out Blind Neil. He's got a great mixture of videos, really good variety of stuff, chats and showing you out and about and life in general. Life in Blind Neil's world. Neil says, well, Stan don't sound like much of a game player, rule follower. No, he wasn't. They used to use the bus to go and do his mum's washing. Remember, this is in the old days, so they didn't have a washing machine. And they used to go and do the mum's washing. And his sister at the beginning was pregnant, and he used to take her to the hospital on the bus. They used to just use the buses for their own personal transport. And it was a thing that Stan and Jack they used to go to what they call the turnaround point, where the bus finishes its route and then it turns around and goes back. And in England, the buses at turnaround point have a break before they drive back. And at the turnaround point, Jack had a girlfriend, although she had a husband who worked on the lorries. And Jack used to use his turnaround time to visit her. And then Jack would sort of have a relax on the bus. But the inspectors always used to drive around in a car and check the buses that they were on time and that. And one time, the inspector come, Stan woke up and he's tooting his horn. He's like, and Jack's like, oh goodness, and he's like running out, and Stan's in such a tiz that he's reversing the bus, trying to get out, doing like a 10-point turn, because he's gone wrong and he's knocked down the bus stop and all sorts of things. So yeah, quite funny. Great drawings. Good Times Homestead's gonna look to your drawings. That's cool. Sounds like a fun game. Yeah, I think I'll bring out some of my games. As I say, I sold literally hundreds. If you think from when I was little, every birthday or Christmas I had a game, so that could potentially be 2 games every year, and till I left home. No, even after that, because I started buying myself some games as well. So that was a lot of games, but as I say, I couldn't bring everything here. And so I just selected. I've obviously kept sort of games adults can play. Pictionary. I love Pictionary. Things like that. And apart from things like that, obviously a lot of my children games had some very interesting games. One was called One for the Pot, and it had proper teacups, plastic, but teacups and saucers. And I can't remember, you went round the board and it would say like put 1 sugar. You'd land on a square and it'd say put 1 sugar lump in, and they were plastic sugar lumps. And then you go round and it'd say put in 2 spoons, and plastic spoons, like picnic spoons. And then every now and then there's a big teapot of water in the middle that you pressed a pump on, and it'd say like 10 for the pot, and you'd have to squirt it in. And the idea is which person's cup was the last to overflow, basically. That was a fun game. I had that. Classic games. You talk to me about games from sort of 70s, maybe even 80s. Oh, I could talk with you for hours on that. Anything 70s is me. Love old games. Cool. If any of you can think of an old like game, children's game, like ball game, or put them down, or any games you remember. My go-to gift was model car kits. Your go-to gift was model car kits. Cool. Mike, when he was a little boy, did model planes. He did model planes. I fancy adult Lego, but it's so expensive. I'd like, I used to collect dolls' houses, and I'd like the Lego that you can build like a shopping mall and houses and like buildings. I'd love to do Lego, but I can't afford it. And that's a bit wasteful, really. Spend your money on Lego. But I do like watching videos where people, like the proper collectors, and they build like whole towns and that out of Lego. I do like that. But I like model villages. So when I was a child, is it only England that has model villages? Used to go to seaside places or countryside places, and you could pay to go in, and it's outside, and they've made all these model houses and little streams, like people make with railways when they make train tracks, but much bigger, like kind of decent size houses and that. And I've talked about this before. People would always who ran them, it was a thing to make the characters do something funny, like a bride running away out the church and things like that. Where are we? So funny. Yep, the Goofy 70 games are the best. I have a board game, Mary Poppins. Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh, I don't know that one. That sounds cool. The Little Molly. Oh, there are. Oh, right. I'd love people to film those for me. I've seen the Yorkshire on Paths. That's it. Yeah, I didn't know if it was like a English mad thing. I like those. I don't know what it is. I always said I wanted to be an estate agent just to look around people's houses. But I always did dancing at weekends, and it's like, no, I'm not giving up that. Estate agents work on Saturdays. No. Fixing a snack. What you got, Jamie? Oh, was it yours? I was coming around for oh, what did you make? Was it yours, Jamie? I said, oh, I'll come round to yours. Was it yours? What video was it? Jasper Pudding Face says there was a game similar to Scrabble, but with numbers. The idea was to make mathematical equations which were correct. Loved playing it as it was great practice in a fun way. I had a number one, and it was round cardboard disc. I think that was top 10, as in total of 10. You had to put pluses and minuses in, and you took a turn. You could put number down, and then someone else could put one down, and you had to try and make it the other person couldn't go. Yeah. I went to a model village. I felt 10 feet tall. There was one, I think, Cornwall or Devon up for sale recently. Toasted muffin with apple jelly. If you guys haven't been on Jamie's channel, oh my goodness, she makes you feel so hungry. Sometimes I'm like, I can't go beyond the thumbnail. It looks so good. But I do. And I'm like, oh. There's some good stuff. Good stuff going on. If you like cooking channels. Oh, Car Junkie, we bought the grandson a 5,000 piece Lego pack. I'm jealous. Oh, I'm so jealous. Was it something that becomes actually something you build, or is it just loads of pieces? I wouldn't mind that, actually. Just loads of pieces. Or send me 10 bits of Lego. I wouldn't mind that, just to create things. Wow, yeah, that's wow. 5,000 piece. I'm guessing that's proper Lego. I don't like these ones where they're not the real Lego. Wow, 5,000 piece. I can't even imagine 5,000. Where are you keeping that? You need a room. 5,000 pieces. Gosh, that's an investment these days, though, for sure. That's definitely an investment. Good grief. Anyway, I forgot what I normally do on this live, because I normally catch you up with my cross stitch project, whatever I'm working on. And this one's an ongoing long job, because I can only do 2 letters at a time. But I have done some more. Any of you who don't know, this was an apron my parents bought me years ago. It's supposed to be a gardening apron, and I'd never used it. And because I didn't want to get dirty. And out here it's so hot, you can't really wear like an apron or anything gardening. But I thought, no, I'm going to use it. So I started cross stitching on it, because look, it's squares. Now it's not fabric, it's like plasticky. So you can wash it down, I guess. It's all plastic in. I thought I can cross stitch on this. So I've made my own unique merch, only for Dawn. And I'm starting to do my channel name on the bottom pocket. Haven't quite finished, as you can see. I've got to do in R. In R. In R. And then I'm also going to be doing some pictures around, and I'm going to do something on the top here as well. But that is coming along. And I thought, if it's too hot here, I can always just flip the top bit down. And I thought, the reason I wanted to start using it is this is great. When I did my Project Tomato, this would be great to put the scissors in and the long stringy stuff that I tie things up with. So instead of keep bending down, as you'll see in the Project Tomato video, I lost my scissors because I kept putting them on the ground, and I had to go back, watch my footage to come back and find where the scissors were. I just kept putting them down, moving around, tie a bit up, and I was like, where did I leave them? So I had to come and watch the footage to see where my scissors were in the garden. And then in the video I use some tape that's metallic tape to put around the handle, but that was kind of after the event. But I thought, no, this would be great for when I'm tying things up, so I don't have to keep bending down, picking up the string, and the scissors will be in the pocket. So that would be a good use for that. Oh, thanks Jamie, that's lovely. Oh, I've missed some comments. Let me go back a bit. As an airport. Oh, cool. Maybe you could put that on a community post so we can have a look at that. Good Times Homestead says, oh yeah, we collect the Harry Potter Lego sets. It's getting out of control. Yeah, I bet there's loads of those. By the way, my theme tune, if I've commented a lot on your channel, you would have seen the word awesome pops up quite a lot. It's probably at the top of this chat. I normally put a little comment at the top of all my lives. I do like the word awesome. It just covers multitude of things. And I would say my theme tune is from the Lego movie, Everything is Awesome. And you can't see it if you just type in Everything is Awesome from Lego movie, because there's a video that goes with that. You have to watch the actual movie to see the footage I'm talking about. He is me at that point, no matter what. He just keeps going. But as I say, if you just play the song Everything is Awesome, it's a Lego video of bits of the film, but it's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the actual film where they play that song. That is me. Okay, Dawn, we have something else in common. I love Lego. I want to go to Legoland in Windsor. That's awesome. Looks beautiful so far. Yes, my cross stitch coming on. Kicking myself for never going to Legoland in California before we moved to Arkansas. How big is that? How big is that? Some of them are bigger than others, like Disney, isn't it? Do you know Disney actually owns a lot of land in Cyprus? Bet you didn't know that. And it's very near the land where the beach house is, Mike's Ziggy house in Ziggy. It's very near there. And you can see on the map they own. In fact, I've heard they own lots of land in lots of countries just as potential future. So there's that. And what else do I do? Oh, I've got a new little thing I wanted to do. Because I keep saying about my earrings, I'm going to call this, Are You Peering at My Earring? And if you watch my Monday lives, you'll know I have themes and I call them funny things like, let's take a look at a book I took from my book Nook, or pastimes, or my gardening section, so grow, mow, and ho, ho, ho. So this is, Are You Peering at My Earring? I mean, it's myself, someone's got to. So today's earrings, I don't know how well you'll see, because we had the blue pigs last time. Ooh, excuse my wrinkly face. Can you see the pig? And his eyes actually move. He's got little goggly eyes. These pigs. In honour of Piggles, who is not a pig. Piggles is Ashley's dog. So I wore them today in honour of Piggles. Dawn needs to get a life. Dawn needs to get a life. Anyway, I say to people, do lives. People can really like get to know you. That could be a mistake on my behalf. So cute. Thank you. She does mention her earrings a lot, quite a lot, like a continuous loop. Oh, Ashley, bravo. Bravo, Ashley. Yes, you all need an Ashley in your community. He just brings humour. He really does. He really does. He always brings a smile to my face. And sometimes I'm like, Ashley, please come on my live. I love everybody. But just 1 second and he's there. Jump, laugh. And I also catch you up on what I'm reading. Still on the book I'd started last time, Barbara Taylor Bradford. And this is called Playing the Game. I'm assuming it's been made into a mini drama, mini movie, whatever, because most of us have. I don't know. If you want to know what it's about, then go back to my last live. And I'm now, this is the front, nearly halfway through, not quite. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's getting more interesting as it goes on. It started off really well. And then another character came in and suddenly you're on that character. I thought, oh, I was interested in the one we were on. But I'm interested in that now, and there's a link going on already. So far, yeah, a good read. Oh, funny, Ashley. He is funny. He is funny. He's hilarious. And I was saying to Mike, Ashley, that on my lives, I wouldn't say like you're a different person to on your channel, but obviously you're just you on the chats. On your channel, you're talking about something. And I said, Ashley, so different on the chat, just like really funny and whatever. And when I was first just on your channel, I thought you were a great guy and everything, but it wasn't until you were on my chats that I really like got your humor and so funny. And I said, yeah, he doesn't really do that on his channel. People just don't know his fun personality so much. And then that one you just did about the seeds I sent you, and you went, "Bye, Dawn," from Jason. I was like, yes, yes, you've done it. So I really like that. I love that. That was fun. Oh dear. Good Times Homestead. Do you know of the channel Keeping It Dutch? This is a friend of Teddy's, and we subscribed to it because he was asking for. Oh right, yeah. Keep It Dutch is huge. I'm tiny. Oh. Right, I'm going right down because I don't think Good Times I've subscribed to you under my other channel. I'm pretty sure I haven't. So I'm going to write to sub. And is there anyone else here that I'm only subbed to one? As I say, Jamie, I think today you was one I went in and subbed under my other one. Definitely Junkie, I'm under two of yours. Actually, I'm pretty certain. I'm 2, maybe 3. Let me just write down. Let's just write down all of you and I can just check. So we'll check Jamie. Good Times Homesteads. Car, I'm pretty sure I am with 2 channels, and Ashley, I'm pretty sure. If any of you guys I am already 2, you might just see a number 3. I think I might do more humour on my channel. For example, my P's for a joke this year. Oh dear, that's so funny. Oh, Janine's in, isn't she? Put Janine in. I missed anyone. If anyone else is watching, just put a comment in here and then I'll know who you are watching, and then I can make sure I'm double subbed to your channel. 20 miles from you. Oh, I thought they were nearer. To you. I've got a little flood here. The bottom of this glass is now wet. And my table is wet because it's run off the mat. And you'll never guess what my mat is. I've got two mats here, actually. Oh, it's stuck now to the table. That's how wet it is. So my mat, of course, is one of the pontins. Hey, obviously. And the other mat you've seen before. This is what I made at my special needs group I used to have to go to. I made this. Tiles, mosaic. I made this. One of my therapy things I had to do. I made that. So they're my two mats I have here. Where are we? They are 20 miles from me. I read that. Hello there, Jen. Dutch, not double. Sub to me once is enough. Not double. Oh, no, Ashley. Seriously, Ashley? I'm shocked by that. Of course, when I do double or triple sub you've got to know that it's me, right? So, do you guys know all my channels? Because if you don't, it's pointless then, because you think, oh, someone else subbed me. That's lovely. Not, oh, Dawn, that's lovely. So I'll just briefly, just for those who don't know, these are my channel names. Hang on. Don't type it in like that, Dawn. First, I've got my Word doc up. Oh, I've now got a wet mat on my wrist. Wait. Dawn is now in her Word doc of life. If it's in a Word doc, I'm fine. If it's not in a Word doc, well, oh, I've got other people's channels there. All my, what do you call them? Moderators. Let me see. Wait, I'm nearly in the right place. Here we go. Right, my channels. Obviously, you know this one. Thank you for subbing. Right, I'm here. Here I am. So that's my secondary channel, which posts every Wednesday. So that's my secondary channel. That posts once a week, whereas this channel posts 3 times a week. Then, so look out for these names subbing you. This doesn't sub many people. These are exceptionals. That one is my channel. And this one is really Mike's channel, but I've just done the last videos on it. So I kind of collab there. So if they sub to you, you'll know they're me. You'll know they're me. There we go. Watch your other channels. There we go. And it's just so I can put more thumbs up, because there's not a lot else I can really do for you apart from promote your channel. Pumpkin Palooza. That's Andrea. And much love to Andrea, because she's got problems at the moment with Mike, looking after Mike. I've got a mic, she's got a mic. We don't have the same mic. But yeah, so prayers to Andrea, because she's a great community on my channel. But obviously she's looking after Mike right now. So best wishes to them both. Put your other glasses on if it's joined up writing. You are so funny. You are so funny. You are crazy man, crazy. So what else have I been doing? Well, you know, I went and bought all my files from Jumbo. I've started organising. So this is everything for StreamYard. This is not StreamYard. No, my other channel does lives on StreamYard. So this is all my StreamYard and Canva because I keep records of everything I make on Canva, because they tell you all the music you use is free to use, and it is not. So I make a note of everything I use of their music, what the music is, then when they come at you, I know which ones to avoid. And then this is all new beginnings, as in this is all videos I've made, or what music I've used and things like that. So that's all new beginnings in that one. So much neater stores now, because when I make a video, I do it on a scrap of paper and I write what music I've used, the title, if I've made a thumbnail or not, that kind of thing. So they were going a bit out of control. And then we've got a pretty one for tranquility. So I've got there. I've got a blue one for my dance one, which is, oh, those ones I've just showed you, they now live in a nice basket. And underneath those is any books or things that I'm using, making series. For example, on tranquility, I'm currently showing you working through this book, The Art of Folding Napkins, or Napkin Folding, and I'm going through doing a few at a time, filming them, showing you the book, how it says to do it, and then me trying to do it, so you can follow along and try and do it as well. So I show you a bit of the book, and then I fold that bit, and then a bit more of the book instructions, do that bit. And it's basically to show you, or to say to you, well, this one worked for me or this one didn't. How did it work for you? And this was so I could do some physio for my hand. So I thought that would be something, rather than just doing boring physio, I was trying to think of different things I could do. And I think Teddy was on when I was asking, has anyone got ideas what I can do for different physio and things? And one of the things I came up with was napkin folding. And I'd say that's helped quite a lot, actually. But I thought, rather than just do it, film it. And then, as I say, you can follow along as well and see if you can fold. And there's 30 in this book. And I do more than one in each video. So it won't be 30 videos. And I've just filmed the next bit of that. So there's 3 already at the moment. The first one is at the beginning of the book. There's lots of instructions about what fabric to use or what materials and so on and so forth. So I put that up first, and so you can follow along if you want to fold napkins. So anything like that is in the bottom. Oh, and also on that channel, on Tranquility, my nan wrote her autobiography, just for sort of family and that to see later, and I've been making videos reading it, so that's in there at the moment, because there's, and I've made marks like I'm breaking it up so it's not all one, obviously, and I'm reading her story, and I thought that was quite sweet that it's being read to be saved and being read by her granddaughter. So that's in there. Things like that are in the bottom of the basket, what are currently active, as in I'm making series of. So there's that. Still here. I recorded a video in slow motion. Took me a week to pick an apple. This is what I love about Ashley. That's so funny, Ashley. That's cool. Napkin folding. I looked up how to make envelopes on YouTube. That was handy. Yeah, anything like that you'll find on Tranquility channel. I've done all my sort of crafty things are on there as well. It's a right old mixture channel. Basically, that's why I got that channel. It was to put anything that wasn't really related to my everyday life in Cyprus. It was a way for me to preserve things, put things on video, my crafts, all that kind of thing. There are some things of here as well, but all sorts of things. There's VW van show, like camper vans and old-fashioned cars, car museum of Cyprus. As I say, crafts, making boxes, card making I've done, all sorts of things. My Yorkshire Terriers, I don't have them now. They were in England, but I had them on video and I wanted to preserve those bits of film. I'll never get them again. So I've made the series following them from when I first got the 2 Yorkshire Terrier puppies. I've broken it up. I'll make a series right through to when they have their own little puppies. So things like that, all sorts of things on that channel. And if you go on that channel, you need to look at the playlist because it's so random what there is. All sorts of things are on there. Yeah, different playlists on one channel. But I think there's so much I want to preserve, like my long haul holidays. And if I put that all on one channel, I feel like people get lost just because I've got so much content on this channel. So I just thought, put other things on that. For me, that suited me. And I post 3 times a week as it is on here. I'd never get through posting everything on that one. So I just did it. Origami's fascinating. I was joking last week saying, oh, I might end up with origami. I don't think I could manage that anyway. Just the napkin folding's a bit too intricate for me. And you'll see I can't fold, like, you know, I've got a perspective issue as well. So hence the busted toe. But you'll see I can't fold exactly right. And that's helped a little bit to... You might notice I feel where things are rather than looking where the middles are and things like that. I've heard that channels should have one niche, seem to do better. That's why I didn't want to bring other stuff onto this channel. This is purely my everyday life in rural Cyprus. Where's the other one? I call it a variety channel. So that's the niche. There's all sorts of things. And as I say, I've explained it's basically anything else I want to preserve. Should have called it preserving history or that kind of thing. It is a preservation one. And as I say, sometimes people ask me tips on YouTube because I've got an in there. And I don't really want to bulk. I've done on this one what program I use to film and that, but I don't want to give all tips and all that on this channel. That's not what this is about. So again, that's gone over there as well. Hamilton Heights is a channel I follow as well. I don't know those. If they come on my channel, Teddy, then we'll promote them. But if I don't see them on my channel, I'm not really promoting people that aren't here. I'll promote anyone that comes on my channel. But they need to be here, really. You know me. I'll help any channel. I'm just sharpening my pencils. Look, I've got stubbies left now. Got little stubbies. I'm frugal. You know, I bought a whole pack of new pencils. You saw them? You see my whole pack of new pencils? New pens, new pencils. Look. New pencils. Hey, but I won't use them. So the other ones, if I've got a lot of writing to do, yeah, I can't write with those, but just making little marks or whatever. And Mike does use them sometimes for oh, it's gone in the wrong way round. Mike uses them for when he's sawing wood and things like that. When he's sawing wood, you know how you like to score a mark and whatever. So I did say to him the other day, if you want some more stubbies, I have lots of stubbies. Where are we? I missed something. No, I don't think so. Origami's fascinating. I read that one. I have the same perspective problem with my vision, but only small things. Not walking through walls then. It's good with me, Dawn. Yeah, fine. Oh, no problem. As I was saying earlier, you get a lot of channels that if you're in the chat, they won't even let you talk about your own channel. And I always say, I'll promote you to your channels. Very cool. Need to catch more of your Cyprus videos. I love learning about the world. Do you ever go to Turkey or any place? No. If you know the history of Cyprus, it's let's just say think about America and Cuba. Let's just leave it at that. Do we go any place? From here, we got married when we lived here, and we had planned to get married in Mauritius, but long story, we ended up here earlier than we thought we were going to come. Mike was just going by a holiday home here, but then I said, well, let's live here. And he said, well, when I retire. And I said, because what's happened to me? I said, well, if you want to do something, do it now. So we came to live here. So he said, well, as soon as we're going to live here, how do you feel about getting married here instead of Mauritius? We hadn't paid for anything or booked it. We were just about to. So I said, no, that's cool. It's our new life here. So we got married here. So we decided we would honeymoon. We'd have 2 cruises because we wanted to go to more than one place, but not a big cruise. So I wanted to go somewhere Mike hadn't been, and he wanted to go somewhere I hadn't been. And where we are located in Cyprus, if you know where Cyprus is, we went to Egypt because we went to see pyramids and other things like that. But because that was what I call a sort of touristy type activity holiday, right, like honeymoon, I also wanted a nothing sort of bit. So we booked another cruise to follow on from that went to, oh gosh, what's it called, Mike? Rhodes. We went to Rhodes. So, which is a Greek island. Cyprus isn't a Greek island. So we went to Rhodes, and that was just a total chill out on the cruise and when we were in Rhodes and everything. That is the only holiday we've had since we've lived here, and neither of us has passports anymore. So that was, I've never had a passport in my married name. So I went on my old passport, and because you had to book it before you went. So, and we couldn't afford to renew them, and we would still have to get English passports, which is a ton of money. So we've got no intentions of going anywhere. People said, well, where are you going on holiday? And we're like, we're in a holiday location. So we've been nowhere else since we've lived here. That was it. Where are we up to? Gotcha. Cool. Very neat. Would love to go on a Mediterranean cruise someday. Rhodes, awesome. Rhodes is pretty, very pretty. It's not very big. It's not very big, but I love islands. If you've heard about me before, I love like sort of Cuba was the prettiest place I've been, Bahamas, all those Caribbean places. I was talking about Margarita Island, which not many people know where it is. Literally across the water to Venezuela is the closest I can put that. I always went to islands. I love islands. There's just something about it. And so, yeah, I now live on an island. So it's pretty cool. I've been around quite a substantial bit of the world, but as I say, mostly Caribbean-y area is my favourite type of place. But yeah, if you ever come to Cyprus, we have accommodation. Ashley says, I saw an Egyptian estate agent. He was pyramid selling. Can I say hello? I was just going to say you're living it now. Oh, thanks. That's why we love it in Arkansas. It's a lovely area. We would go from the city in CA to the forest to camp on vacation. Now we step outside, we're there. Exactly. When we moved here, there really was no limit as to which country we chose because of my condition. My medical team said, you can go one place, but don't ever expect to be able to fly or anything again, because it can be quite traumatic and you need very professional care, because I'm only one of 3 people who have my condition, so it's very niche. So he said, pick with care. Wherever you go, pick with care. That could well be your settling place. And we really did have the whole map of the world to choose from. And I've spoken much about this before, that we basically got a map. From England, we literally wanted to go as hot as we could go. So we didn't want Europe. We wanted to go further than Europe. We didn't want to go so far that the hotter you get, and then you start getting hurricanes, dangerous animals, that extreme. So that knocked it back this way. So we had an area basically, and then we sort of went from there. That was the main criteria. There were other criterias, but we truly could have chosen anywhere. There was other places I would have preferred, but long-term living, I've said before, Mike's dream is a beach hut. He would have loved the Bahamas. He'd never been there. That sort of beach hut type lifestyle, you know, with the straw roof and that kind of thing. But for everyday life, no, there's not that. So obviously reality comes into play, and overall I wanted country with activity. And I've said about Cyprus, as small as it is, you can have literally any type of lifestyle here. You've got the great big cities, you've got my extreme with a rural, remote, living in an abandoned village, but we haven't got to go too far, an hour away, and we're in a completely different lifestyle. You've got beaches, you've got towns. If you go right up the Troodos, you can go skiing in the winter, but then you can come right down lower than us and go to the sea swimming in the afternoon. So it's that varied lifestyle. If you want an English lifestyle, there's expat areas. If you want a very Cypriot existence, you've got areas of that. But you can move around and have a day of this, play tourist one day and go and stay in a big hotel. Big business, if you want a company, this is a place where there's lots of really big companies coming here and already here. There's everything here, and for a small island, it gave us options of whatever we wanted. But obviously, bottom line is personal taste and what your lifestyle brings. So that's in a nutshell. As I say, there was more to it, but there's that. What are we up to? Should we say California? I did get that one. I did get the CA, but there are quite a few I don't get. I did get that one. Dangerous animals, you've got snakes. That's dangerous enough. We've only got one really bad snake that you can die from, but there is, if you've got treatment, it's okay. But you're only going to get bitten by that by stupidity. It doesn't come out. It like to get you. If you walk past it, it's not going to touch you. It's very shy. It's only going to get you if you decide to go into its environment. It's hiding under a big rock and you shove your hands under a big rock. It's only going to defend itself. Or the only way people have been bitten is run through a cornfield. And the rule is here, if you can't see where your hands or feet are going, don't go there. So it's only stupidity that you can be bitten by. It's not going to come and get you. If you tread on it, that's when it bites you, or you stick your hands up its face, you know. It's really big, but it's really camouflaged as well. And you'll see in my walk videos, I'm always saying, oh, there's a pile of rocks there. I'm not going to walk over those. And you think, But, you know, I'm aware. And I've done walks where I go around my abandoned village and you see all the old stone houses. And I say, I'm not going to go in that one because there's all sort of where the stones have all fallen down inside. It's not, I'm frightened to walk in there. But if it's snake season, you wouldn't go there. And yes, we have earthquakes here as well. So you're going to get something. The further you go to the heat countries, let's say, the more danger you're going to get. But then you can go to cold countries and get bears and cougars and whatnot. So those penguins are lethal. Watch out for them. But we didn't want cold. But we did want season. I didn't want it to be hot all the time. We have a very short winter here. but I wanted a change to appreciate the season. I have friends who move from the US to the Bahamas. I do love it there. I do love it there. I mean, if someone offered me a free home, I've got relatives in Australia. Didn't want to go there. One, because, see, they get the really poisonous tiny spiders. You're not going to see them. But also, for me, it's too Britsy. I wouldn't have felt abroad. I wanted to feel I was in another country. I love the beach. I miss it. Oh, yeah, we have snakes too. We have all the murder snakes. I love it. We have all the murder snakes. Snakes and earthquakes. So you want me and Karen to visit? You've got that deadly dog, haven't you? Oh. Funny enough, a lot of my English friends that live in Cyprus live in what we call Britsville, and they've got their houses with their central heating. Cyprus don't do that. Central heating, their radiators, you know, they look like English estates, and they've got their thing, and they're all cozy, and they're all quite built up areas. And then they go, oh, I don't know, you can live in the countryside. There'd be snakes everywhere. Like, why we would have more, I don't know. But there'd be snakes everywhere. And, oh, no, I'd be frightened they'd come in your house and all that. Where do they find most snakes in Cyprus? In the estates, curled up behind the nice warm radiators. That's where you will find most of the snakes. Sounds like a party. A new channel name. Not visiting there either. No, snakes in the house. Yes, that's where you'll find them. Or in, this is something we were warned about when we first put our swimming pool in. It's very beautiful to have plants all around the pool, whether it be in pots or oleander or these nice pretty flowering things. That's the worst place you can put plants if you're in snake country, because they like water and they will go under plants, and then as you're swimming around, they might decide to have a dip. You keep clear around your water areas. This is why we have cats. We haven't had an issue here at all, but it's why we have cats. Have cats, not very likely you'll get snakes. We've had a few around, but mostly the black whip snakes, and there's nothing wrong with them at all. They call them the farmer's friends. They just scurry on by. As I say, there's no snakes here that are, I know, particularly America, you've got some of those lethal ones that, like the rattlers, and what's that other really bad one? You've got no, and they're like go for you like that. Mostly if you surprise them, or they're in the corner of a shed, that kind of thing. But no, you have cats. And as I say, we've only had the black whip snake around, and they just go. They're not harmful. They're not dangerous. They just scurry on by, and they kill any vermin, and they actually kill the dangerous snake, the blunt-nosed viper. So, but then, as they say, you see some of these really picturesque countries, they have got the most dangerous animals of the whole world. They're like really beautiful countries. You see a picture, but they're all war-torn countries. They're actually really quite pretty, a lot of them. I have a playlist called Jan the Snake Hunter. Sorry, Jen, I keep saying Jan, I apologise. Jen the Snake Hunter. Ooh, I'm going to have a look at that. You write that down. I was doing that today, actually, on channels I go on a lot. I don't always go on playlist. Often I'll go on a playlist if it's a new channel and it seems to have like variety a bit more. Or I go looking for stories of how you arrived where you are if you've moved to Homestead or whatever else. I do like looking at those. Jim the Snake Hunter. I think that's cool. That's for the tip. I was going to put some around our pool, and that looks so beautiful. It looks beautiful, but they said clear it. And we've also got the house here, the swimming pool here. Oh, have I got blood spurts? Where's that come from? I'm spurting blood now. I won't show you. Oh, it's from there. I must have just knocked a spot or something, but I had my arm obviously like that and it's gone onto that bit. Right, okay, all good. I'm mopping it up with the wet from the Coke. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So we got the house here, the pool here, and then a lower tier. There's a sort of patio-y bit with steps. And on there we've got, it was around our land when we arrived, a sort of a slab, but it had a really good dip in it. And we moved it onto the top of these steps for like a water feature, just to have water in for the cats. Excuse me, to have water in for the cats. And this is where, if you see in my bird videos and birds in this little sort of water trophy thing, that's where it is. And the idea of that was, when we had the pool in, they said that was a really good idea, because if snakes come, they go to lower water levels because their pool's like up, rather than trying to climb up. And you might get an occasional one, but they kind of head for that first, and that's way away from the house anyway. So yeah, and that's, as I say, it attracts all the birds as well down there. Blunt nose viper, blunt, because he's got a squashed nose, you know, like snakes have got sort of an overly face. His is squished. Blunt nose viper. That's my speaking. Not a fan of snakes, says Jamie. Oh Lordy, a snake just bit someone. Panic, run everyone, get out. If you want to, you obviously all don't want to, but if anyone's interested in all the snakes we got, I did a separate video on each one on my other channel. There's one more actually to go up. It's not a very interesting one. I haven't put that up. I've made the video and I thought, oh yeah, I must make that last one. So if you are interested, they're on the other channel. That's why I say there are some things of this there, but then I didn't want to do what I've done with you lot, and you're all like panicking that Cyprus is snake ridden. Oh, it's truly not. I would say I see more chameleons and dragonflies and hedgehogs and all these things than I would ever see snakes. My phone is at arm's length. I'm not risking it. I'm laughing now, and then next week there'll be no live, and week after no videos, no live. They'll go, oh, you never guess what, guys. I had to have anti-venom. Oh my goodness. It's not that bad. It's one of those things, though, you do just be aware of. When we first go, no, I won't tell you this, you'll be like, no. I was going to say, when we first came, there used to be a place you could go. It's like, it was a place with deep pits, and it was basically so you could go, and it was education, to educate people what the snakes were. And as I say, this blunt nose viper is really big. It's like a thick snake, quite long. And you think you could see it. And all the other ones, he'd say, can you see it? Can you see it? And you'd look around. The Montpelier is quite hard to see because it's camouflagey looking. Oh, I couldn't see this other one. It's there, it's there, it's there. And it took for it to move for you to see it. And I was like, oh my goodness, if it's right there and you still can't see it. And when you think how big it is, it's just the way it sort of coils and doesn't look like a snake anymore. And as our neighbour said, if you see anything, you go, oh, what's that? Just don't go and pick it up, you know. Just like, okay. Because he said it could look like a rag or like printed material. Be like, and he got caught out by that, and he was one always warning us, if you see something, just don't. And he went, he's like, what's this? And he went to pick it up, and then just in time, he's like, oh my goodness. So, yes. It's about being aware rather than, I'd rather not scare people, but tell them than, I mean, whenever we have workaways or guests, I actually show them a picture and explain, you're not going to see it exactly like this. And as I say, the rule is if you can't see where your hands or feet are exactly going, don't do it and don't go there. So, as I say, the only people that have been bitten are people sort of running through cornfields. That's where they are, or under big rocks, that kind of thing. They won't just come and get you. That's the good side. We don't have things like rattlesnakes and some of those ones that are just literally attack. Coils, yeah, around your neck. Oh dear, coils around your neck. That's so funny. So funny. Oh dear, crazy. But yeah, we have nice things as well. As I say, we have always comedians. Now, the comedians, did you see my video quite some time ago? And I put, do you know what noise a chameleon makes? Because one time I rescued one and I was filming it, luckily. And oh my goodness, did he want to attack me? He's hissing and making these awful noises. Yeah. That was like, and they can bite. Oh my goodness, he was wild. I'm going to sit quietly now. Sorry, I'm saying too much. Yeah, so I would be more afraid of like putting my hand, because you can't see them, the chameleons. I keep showing them every now and then. And I think the last video where I showed a chameleon, I've had to arrow. It was only in a miniature orange tree that I've just started growing. But his head, because they change colour to match what they're in, his head was just that shape of the orange tree leaf. And he's moving around for ages. And I thought, you guys aren't going to see. If you're looking sort of at the tree as a whole, it's only a miniature thing, it's just started growing. It's about a foot or so. You're going to be like, well, what's she showing? Edit, Dawn, edit. So I thought, run it back, and I've put a little arrow to it. And straight away, oh, yeah. So when you think you can't see those, if you're going to put your hand in and pull off some dead leaves or whatever, they are going to bite you. And I was a bit upset because I'd just rescued him. I'd put, this is some time ago, I'd put some, I think it was some olive branches or something out over the fence for the goats to eat. And because they then strip the leaves off if I don't want the leaves, or something else I'd put over. And it was when I was cutting all the olive trees last year, and they strip it back, and then I've got the wood, although sometimes I do use their leaves as well now. And I'd put it over, and then I saw this chameleon coming back out from it, and I thought, oh, there was the chameleon in there, and he's trying to climb the fence. So I thought, oh, that's good, he's coming back in. Ran and got the camera, and I thought, oh, is he still there? Yeah, he was coming up. So I start filming, and I must have been quite close to him. So he turns around and starts going back to the goats. And I was like, oh no, the goats might either trample him, or I don't know if they'd eat him. I don't know. He wasn't a big one. He was probably this sort of size. So I was trying to, I think I had a stick or something, I can't remember now, and I'm trying to get him to come back through the fence. And I just got him through. I think I got him on a branch or something. I just brought him through, put him down. I went, yeah, you're right now. I was trying to find another tree or something for him to go in. And he was hissing and really awful. I was like, oh my goodness. He was so scary. So who knows? You never know. What else do we have? Bats. Fruit bats are the only little ones, and they fly over the pool at night. We don't see them during the day, apart from one time we came out in the day and one had obviously gone in the pool at night, dipped down to get water and hadn't made it out. He was still alive, and we videoed that. Like, might get him out. It's scaring me now. It's Halloween. I'm talking about bats. It's only like, they're only about, with wingspan, about that big. But as I say, we only see those at night. And that's because we used to have the pool light on. So that attracts them. If we have the pool light on at night, that's those. Chameleons, hedgehogs you've seen. Have hedgehogs all the time here. Oh my goodness. Hedgehogs in England, you don't often see a hedgehog, do you? If you see one, you're like, oh wow. But here we see them as often as, I don't know, you'd see a ladybird. Let's say that, maybe like a ladybird if you're in England. You see them quite often, but not like all the time. Butterflies, so many butterflies here, and they seem to be here practically all year, which is a bit odd. What else? What else do we have? We don't have squirrels, not that I'm aware of. We don't have badgers. We have foxes. Well, I've only seen one twice here. You hear them in the distance sometimes, but I've only seen one twice here. Obviously, there's sort of vermin-y things like voles and field mice and that kind of thing. Don't often see them. I have seen a hamster, yes. We think that was someone leaving the country and just released their hamster. Oh, we have hares and rabbits, wild hares and rabbits. We see rabbits and hares quite a lot. Birds, obviously, so many different sorts of birds. Tons of birds. What else? Other animals. Obviously, there are still camels in Cyprus. There are still camels. Donkeys, obviously. There are wild horses. We have the moulon. I don't know if you know moulon. To me, it looks like it's a cross between a goat and a sheep. And that is the national animal of Cyprus. That is the moulon, and they are wild. We don't have wild boar, or, well, there's speculations as to whether there are wild boar in the Paphos district, but I don't think there are wild boar these days. Oh, you're off. Nice to see you, Ashley. Thanks for coming. But yeah, that's more or less it, really, I think, for the animals that we have. I think that's about all we have that I can think of. As I say, so many different types of birds. Owls, we see owls a lot here. We've actually got the Cyprus owl is the main owl, and they're always round our garden. We hear them at night. I've captured them quite a few times, which is brilliant. I've had to rush and get a camera, and yeah, they've still been there. So I've actually got one video where I've captured them and got one really good set of pictures of that. And sometimes if we come back late at night and we drive up the mountain track, we see owls sitting in the road. It's a track, it's the access. It's not like a main road. And we see owls sitting there, and that's when we also see the hares darting backwards and forwards because they're in your headlights. Oh, obviously we've got sheep and goats, obviously. Sheep and goats. There are cows here, but not to a great extent. Like in the English countryside, cows are probably the biggest animal you see. Like most regions, there are cows. It's if you're driving through the countryside or farm areas, you're going to see more cows than anything else. Here, it's the least seen. So we have goats mostly farmed, quite a lot of pigs, quite a lot of sheep. Cows, not so much. not really many cows farmed here. So that really is most of our animal kingdom. That's probably what most of it is about here. So I think I'll leave it there today, guys. I thank you so much for coming. It's been real fun. As always, we always end up having a massive laugh. So thanks to the community in the chat, especially, because you just make the chat even better. And I'll see you all again next live on Monday. And look out for my videos posting Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And do check out both my community post. There's always something up there. And also don't forget the playlist as well to see other videos. So until next time, all the best to you. Thanks for being in my community. Till next time, Meraki.